welcome back to Doodles and Drawings. Today we're going to be drawing something a little different. It's not a character this time, but an animal. And I know it's a lot of people's favorites. It's the sloth. So we're going to be drawing a baby sloth today, hanging out on a tree branch, which is adorable. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to start by drawing the branch for our sloth. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start by coming over here with our pencil, and we're going to just draw a straight line across, and maybe there'll be like a little stick coming out of the branch because, you know, branches aren't perfect. And then it'll finish like that, and then we'll just pull it back across, and that's how we'll start. That's going to be our branch for our sloth who's sleeping. Next, we're going to go to the head. And so for the head, we're going to start, or at least this is where I'm going to start, around here. And we're going to make kind of a circular shape. So we've got nice big sloth head. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just kind of doing what we can here. And we're just going to have it come back to right there. That's going to be our sloth's head. Now, that may look a little odd to you. And actually, you know what? I don't like how that looks. We're going to erase it just a little bit. And we're going to make it more oblong like that, more square on the jaw there. There we go. That looks better to me. All right. So now we've got our sloth head, and from there we're going to draw the rest of its body. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to about the end of our line here, and that's where its front paw is going to be. So it's going to come down and curve around, because they're soft and cuddly, so they're not like super jarring. And we're just going to have it come up to there. That's going to be its first paw. Then the other front paw is going to be hanging on the other side of the branch, so we're going to come down to about here, and we're going to make another one that's about the same length, like that. That'll be its other front paw. Then we got to do its back paws. So for the back paws, we're going to go a little bit further back, and we'll start above the branch and come down, and it's going to go a little bit shorter because its hind legs are a little shorter than there. We're going to stop right there for right now because it's going to be the rest of the back of our sloth. And then for our other leg, we're going to have it go like this, kind of coming out of the other one there. So that's going to be our other sloth leg. Now we just got to finish the rest of the body, which is going to be over here. So we're going to come over to the head, and sloths are kind of lumpy, so we're going to kind of go like that and come down, and we're going to meet right where our leg was. So that's going to be the outline of our sloth body. And real quick, we're going to erase some lines here, like this one, which is being covered up by a paw. So we want to get rid of that one. And we're going to get rid of this line here, this tree branch line, which is being covered up by the paw as well. So we don't need those in there. We can get rid of those. There we go. And now we've got our sloth body. I'm just going to curve this edge a little bit there to make it look like it's a part of the body. Maybe add a little bit more right there. Perfect. Now for the sloth's face, it can be divided up into a couple different sections. So for the first part, we're going to kind of define the face part of the sloth. We're going to come over here, and we're going to make a line going up, and it's going to kind of come to about the forehead and curl in like that. And then it's going to come back out like this and come down to around the cheek. That's going to frame the face of our sleeping sloth. Sloths also have these bands around their eyes, and they're going to be a little bit darker color. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to about here, and we're going to make those bands like that. And then we'll do one on the other side as well. Those are our sloth eye bands. That's where our eyes are going to be. Inside those, we can do that. The sloth is sleepy, so we're just going to have a nice, pleasant sloth eye like that. And then we can draw a nose, which is going to be kind of your standard animal nose, a nice straight top, and then a curled bottom like that for the nose. And then he's got pleasant dreams going on, so we're going to have a nice little smiley face here for our sloth. It's going to look like that. And there you have it. That's the basic outline of a sloth. If you want to add in claws on the hands, you know, because they've got some kind of grabbers because they like to climb, you can do that as well. We can just add those in here. They're going to be a little bit curved. So we can do those. I'm going to do those on the front. Leave the back clawless for now. So there we go. Those are our sloth claws that they used to climb the trees. Now for colors to start off with. Oh, we're not even there at colors yet. Ooh, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to do our lining next. So I've got my marker here. And we're just going to be doing our quick trace here of all of our different major lines. So we're going to start with a tree branch here. There we go. And remember, it doesn't have to perfectly match the lines that you drew earlier. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, that's all right as well. It doesn't have to be perfect, because remember, your art is yours, so it's what you make it. There we go. You know, I have certain expectations for me, and they might be slightly different expectations for you, and that's okay. Oh, I didn't want to put a line there. Well, it's there now. All right, see, there we go. Made a mistake, not a big deal. Can't erase it either because I'm using a Sharpie, so I guess that's that then. Okay, we're gonna come up and around, follow our line. We've got our nice big baby sloth body. And there's where our head is. We're gonna come down, make our head like that. This is where I wanted the line to be because that's where the stick is. That's all right. Mistakes happen. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna finish doing the rest of his head here. And then we'll do his outline for his face. Get his eye outline here. There we go. Those are his eyes. We've got his nose, and the nose is going to be darker, so I'm just going to fill in the nose with my Sharpie, which you could choose to do, or you could use a crayon or a colored pencil or whatever. And there we go. Now we've got our outlining with our one mistake, which we saw in there. That's okay, though. It happens. And now I've got some sloth colors I wanted to use today. So I've got my browns here. Okay. A little black and then a green, because we're going to add like a leaf onto our tree branch here. So he's got a snack when he wakes up. Now, first off, for our darker browns, we're going to go with, let's see here, this one. And this is going to be our eye shade here around his eyes, because it's darker. And we're just going to start coloring that in. There we go. So they've got these like patches around their eyes. We're going to color that in. Looking cute. We're going to use this brown for our tree branch, so I'm going to set it aside so I don't use it on accident. And then I've got this kind of lighter brown here, which is going to be his fur color. So we're going to use that to do his fur. We're going to keep his face a white for right now, because I don't really have an off-white crayon or a colored pencil. So I'm just going to stick with white for now, see if I can find one later. And I'll touch it up. Stay over there, brown. All right, we're just going to color in his fur. Just going to do the nice little back and forth. Make sure we get a nice even coating. Keep it consistent. Now here's something fun we can do. We've been keeping it kind of light here in this front area, but in the back area, we can make it a little darker to show that it's further back. So we're going to keep it light up here in front, and then when we go to the back legs, we're going to shade in a little bit darker. And we're going to get a darker shade back there to make it seem like it's farther away. Make it kind of in shadow. I'll show you what you mean. So this is the light, this is kind of the light coloring that I did for the front. Now for the back, I'm going to push in a little bit further. And you see how it's darker? So by adding a little bit more pressure, I've made this back leg darker. And so now you can think of it as being further away. I can do that on this back one as well. There you go. You're going to go through your colored pencil a little bit faster that way, but it will look pretty nice. And that looks pretty solid. I like the way that that sloth looks. So now we can focus on our tree branch he's on. So I'm going to use this kind of like middle brown. They call it light brown. So we're going to use light brown for our tree. I'm going to grab my black again because I like that for the details on the tree branch. We're going to color in our tree branch here. It's going to be this light brown color. And our sloth's looking very content with his nap spot, which is awesome. That's what we want. A nice little content baby sloth. You know what's crazy though is that sloths back in like the age before humans were around were giant. We're talking like 14-foot tall sloths, which is crazy to think about just how tall that was. So then for more details on your tree branch, you can put these black lines in, and it makes it look more like a branch, like that. So now it looks a little bit more branchy. And then we're going to do a leaf here on the edge over here. So we're just going to draw the stem for that leaf real quick. So there's our leaf stem. And then we're going to make it kind of a more round leaf. So we're just going to draw it like that, and it's going to come to a point like that. And then we're going to draw veins on our leaf because leaves have veins in them. And then we're just going to lightly shade in so it's all one color. But with that darker line, we get that vein color. So there's our leaf. There's our healthy snack for our sloth friend when he wakes up. And then because he's hanging out up in a tree, we're just going to grab a light blue real quick out of the old box, and we'll do a little bit of background on our sloth here. So we're just going to start coloring in around our thing. It doesn't have to be super good, it just has to be enough that we get the idea that he's up in the sky. There we go. See, he's looking much more sky-like now. Up high in the tree branch, taking a quick break. So just go down to where around his claws, so we get the whole thing covered. We'll be careful around the claws, make sure we don't get in there. Make sure we're more careful around details. There we go. And there we have it. We've got a sloth up in the sky on his tree branch taking a nap. He's looking content. He's looking happy. And there you have it. That's how you draw a sloth sleeping on a branch. Maybe we'll draw an awake sloth some other time, but for right now, we'll just stick with our sleeping baby sloth. And I hope you got a lot out of this Doodles and Drawings video. We'll see you next time where we do something a little bit different, just like we do in every episode. So we'll see you then. Bye.